advisors created this advisory last year, Mr. Wares, Mrs. Rentola, myself, and Mr. Cormier. And our goal was to have our advisory students end up creating a community service project that they can then get the entire school community involved in. So the goal was for them to do some research, learn about different community service agencies that are already doing things to help the community, and then trying to have that group of advisory students find a way to help those existing agencies deal with whatever that problem is. So our students are currently in the process of researching various community service issues and agencies that work on them to try and figure out how they can help.
So what we do is we board horses. I collect income from boarding horses, and that gives us just enough to take care of the utilities and make the land payment. And we're very dependent on community involvement to help us go beyond that point. But the need for service is now. So it may not be a brand new place, but it works. So this comes from a passion that I've had for most of my life. It certainly wasn't my husband at the beginning. So, my father, who's still living, is a World War II veteran. He's 94 years old, and he watched the plane take off that the Enola Gay. Does anybody know who the Enola Gay is? To drop the bomb on Hiroshima, and he was on a ship in the Navy in the Pacific at that time, and had an event happen on that ship that took he was the lead of the platoon that he had, or whatever they call it, and he survived. That event, I believe, took my father away from me because he could never get over it, ever. So I look at I have personal sensitivity to what war damage up here, more so than in your body, can do to the family. Go into that arena and just let this horse move around. She's not dangerous, she's a love. And we write words on the side of her with sidewalk chalk, like respect. It seems to be helping these people, these young people, connect with the word. So we're teaching reading by writing words on the side of this animal. And it's kind of an experiment, but for right now we're having pretty good success with it. But in a controlled way, we can bring in groups like this, or groups that come and help and volunteer. That's a very gentle way to reintroduce someone to the public when they have a hard time being with the public.
Walk up to the kiosk, say, ooh, land information. I'd like to find out about this piece of property, and we don't have to be so territorial. It's not me versus you governmentally. It's, hey, let's work together and make this place better.
The more jobs that we can create for the artists, then the more successful we are in helping change the community.
We're primarily funded by a state and federal contract, and when you're funded by the state and federal contracts, they pretty much pay for like the people to be here, the facility to be working, and the food. Okay, so we have a crisis unit, and that's a crisis line where people can call in any time of the day, 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Christmas Eve, somebody's there answering the phone. People call for like hundreds of different reasons. They call because they're thinking about killing themselves. They call because their girlfriend broke up with them and they don't know what to do. They call because they're having a fight with their family. And whoever's answering that phone will talk to you about anything. It's kids or teens that have ran away from home or having like huge fights at home, and it might not be safe or a good idea for you or your parents that you're at home anymore. And they can come here, stay here for a couple weeks, and work with a counselor on those issues, whatever it was that you're fighting about, or if you are homeless, helping you and your family, or just you find a home and a permanent place to live, be it a family connection, an aunt or an uncle that's willing to take you in, or a friend's family, or an apartment for your family if you're homeless, things like that. So we work with you every day with your counselor and your family comes in, and work on all of that stuff that's going wrong, trying to help make it go at least a little bit better. Another program, which is a transitional living program, which is for a little bit older teens, like 16 and a half to just under 18. And those teens, we always start with trying to reunify with family, and if that's not working, or if family's not in the picture, or whatever the reason is, going home is not a good idea. People can stay here up until they're 18 or until they get an apartment or a family placement or something like that. And in that time, we help them get a job and get a driver's license and make sure they're going to school and learn how to go grocery shopping and buy healthy food.
Why these 4 nonprofit organizations?
Well, the 4 nonprofit organizations that we actually went on a field trip to explore were well, I should say the United Way helped us pick those 4. They helped us look at different problems in the community and said, hey, these are 4 agencies that are already out there helping in the community, and maybe you might want to take a look at those. So, however, those aren't the only 4 agencies that our students may end up working with. It's going to help them figure out what the problems are and the ways that people are already helping out with those problems, but our students could end up working with another community service agency beyond the 4 that we actually visited when we went on the field trip.